G'day ladies and gents, and welcome back to War Thunder. Today we're going to be having a look at the Magach 3. Now, this is just before the patch goes live, I would assume, since the technical works are today. And, well, in a few hours actually. So perhaps just as this video goes up, the servers will be going down. And the Magach 3 will actually get itself a little buff. Not many people really know this, but the Magach has an APDS shell, which was lacking penetration before. Now it is being given the correct penetration, and as I understand it, the shell, or the sister shell on the L7, let's say, goes up to about 360 millimeters of pen. So we can expect somewhere between, say, 300 and 360 millimeters of pen vertically at 10 meters on the Magach 3's APDS shell, which makes it really, really nice, you know. You can do a lot more with it. You can pen a lot more flat armor. Angles, I'm not sure, but we'll have to wait and see for the patch to drop. But for now, and I think as a general rule, it's a good idea to stick with the HitFS shell. The HitFS shell is by far the way to go with the L7 gun, and if you don't have the HitFS shell, using a combination of HESH and APDS is a really, really good option. And for me, what I've done is I've taken something like 20 to 25 high-explosive anti-tank shells, and I've got myself 10 APDS and 5 HESH. The 10 APDS is basically for the long range when I can't land the HitFS, or if I'm firing through a lot of bushes and firing at targets that require, you know, that the penetration. And the HESH is for those lobbing shots where I can perhaps get a cheeky shot onto an area like a turret roof or something like that. And I have done that before on IS-3s and T-10Ms, especially those Russian tanks. They have massive cupolas, and it's just it's beautiful. It's extremely satisfying to shoot enemy cupolas, and it's just there's something good about it. And not only that, but the Magach itself gets some ERA bricks. It's essentially an M48 with an L7. It does have a slightly better engine because for some reason the Israelis are obsessing over better engines. We need more speed, more power, you know. And they've got that gorgeous L7 gun, which a lot of people shit on, but I really think it gets such a bad rap. It's an amazing gun. Now, as you'll see in the kill feed, the AH-1G has managed to spawn right off the bat and get a couple of nice easy kills on 906s and T55s, and you know, that T55 was probably stock, so poor guy. Now, I have a problem with that. I have a massive problem with that, especially considering what happened 2 years ago. Do you remember Mike Goes Boom talking about Cass? Do you remember the massive controversy and the shitstorm it stirred up? Well, we basically have that 2.0, but with helicopters, and no one really cares, which is kind of sad. Why does no one care? It should be a massive issue. You'd think that if someone can spawn a helicopter right off the bat, and then come back in a Bearcat, like that, I think that's ridiculous. I think that's nothing short of ridiculous. I understand that it's combined battles. Technically, that's what the devs call it themselves. Its official name being Tank RB, of course, but you'd expect the game mode to be focused a bit more around tanks and not spawning straight off the bat in 2 aircraft and getting kills just as Cass, which, don't get me wrong, is probably the most enjoyable thing about Tanks RB for me. Cass is probably one of the most enjoyable things. That and driving SPAA when there are plenty of planes to shoot at. I can think of nothing better. It's just fun to me, but being able to spawn this right off the bat without actually doing any work on the ground first, it's pretty ridiculous. And considering most people don't spawn SPAA off the bat, which isn't exactly their fault, it's not exactly their undoing or their fault, because normally only 1 or 2 spawn off the bat, and you know, you spawn a Shilka to take out 2 AH-1s. You haven't really done a whole lot. You haven't really gone and, you know, capped something. You can't really push angles. You can't push, you know, positions. But as a plane, you have a significant advantage. Now, you can see me here. I've done a flank, and I am literally well into enemy territory by now. This is about as far into enemy territory as you can get within about 3 minutes of the game starting, and it's simply because the enemy was pushed back on close air support. And I have flanking shots now, roughly. I can sort of see gun smoke through the trees and trying to shoot it. I had a look at the replay, and there is literally one guy to the left of the screen, right where the distance measurements are, and then there was one guy pretty much the same distance to the right, just a little bit higher. And it was really unfortunate. I managed to shoot in between them, looking at the gun smoke. But yeah, there goes any accusation of me being a hacker. I mean, not that there were any, but you know, that's great, isn't it? Yeah. If you're ever considering that I might be hacking, you can always check the server replays, and I challenge you to if you think so. But hacks are for wankers. Simple as that. Anyone who does that has a small penis, and it is confirmed. However, speaking of small penis, big dick energy from the Magach. That's a weird word to say, but yeah. Now I'm flanking, and I'm putting that upgraded engine to use. So I'm going down the hill. I'm picking up a little bit of speed, and the enemies are currently fixated on the tanks that are pushing, and so I find it really, really easy just to sort of sneak around the back and give them some surprise butt sex. There goes the AMX-30 right about there. You can see him, he's looking there, he's fixated, he might be even repairing, and I shoot him in the back of the turret. That takes out his crew. I see the IS-7 trying to push. I'm waiting for him to turn the turret sideways, and then I shoot the back of the turret, because that's where the ammunition is stored. I could have also shot him while the turret was facing away from me, and that is literally the easiest kill you will ever get on an IS-7. You can do it with APDS, I think you can even do it with HESH, but check the protection analysis if you can beforehand. So that's one thing you've got to watch out for. Now, once they're done, the team is capping the A point, and I can see that on the minimap. So basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to lock them into their spawn so that they can't push and contest the A cap. But first, before I do that, I've basically got to take this ridge, and I've got to take the area surrounding it. Now, little to my knowledge, I don't know this, but there is a leopard off to the left of me. And I only notice him when Cass starts engaging him, but the thing is, he doesn't notice me either. So, blind leading the blind, and easy kill on an Object 120 right here. He doesn't see me, maybe he's repairing, and hull break with a heat of S shell, you literally can't go wrong. It's just beautiful. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. The Magach is probably one of the most beautiful tanks to drive out in the whole game. Just because it just functions nicely. It fits the 7.7 meta really, really well. Because when you get down tiered, you can get easily penetrated by a long 88, which is a World War II gun. And when you get up tiered, you are protected against ERA, unless you get a case like that, where you have an AA spamming you and it starts to destroy ERA bricks. But that's not really much of an issue until they get to your side. And there goes a Saddam, and I get a hull break on him. I don't know, that shot was pretty miraculous, but for the most part, the Magach is a really good tank, and I picked it up on a 50% discount. I paid for it with my own money, and honestly, I do not regret it in the slightest. It's a good grinder, and it's a lot of fun, and I don't see why you wouldn't want to grind with the Magach. Although it is a rank 5, and the only issue with rank 5 is you won't be able to grind out the rank 7s. But that's alright, because essentially all you do is you just get yourself to something like the Rise P or the or a good tank at rank 6, and you talisman that. And it'll cost you overall, with a discount, less than it will otherwise. And that's one of the things that I really like about talismans. I use talismans to grind out my French, I use them to grind out my Italians, still. And for the most part, I'm using talismans everywhere to grind. That shot on a Leopard 1, beautiful. And I was thinking, why didn't the gun bounce? It should have bounced a lot more. And I discovered that if you stop the tank side on, you get the transmission will bounce, but on the reticle it will sort of tilt a little bit left and right rather than moving up and down, which means the crosshair still stays in the same position, and it's a lot easier to get shots on the move or when you're stopping. It's almost like a stabilization when you're out on your side. The only problem is you're exposing your sides. But in a situation like that, it's a very easy kill. Now, if you're paying attention to chat, you may see that someone called me a pay-to-win scrub, Man, that's that takes a special man to think the Magach is pay-to-win. The Magach used to be useless, and at 6.7, it is probably not that great. At 8.0 and 8.3, however, it is really, really good. I think it should stay at 7.7 because it's actually slightly more vulnerable there. And it doesn't have a stabilizer, so the moment you put it up too far, it's going to get clubbed by stuff that does have a stabilizer and fires dart. So, yeah, that's just one of the things as a Magach player. Now, you can see there, I died to an M60A1 Ariete, and I have a backup. So, there's no worry there. More Magach, more fun, and more Jewish trickery, which I absolutely love. This tank, it used to be so bad. It used to be garbage. I remember watching, I can't remember, some streamer, it might have been Slick. He was driving out, someone was driving out on Kursk and got hit in the lower front plate and instantly died by Panther 2. And that's probably the main weakness of the Magach. And you can see, even though the transmission is in the front, there's ammunition behind it, there's the driver, and APHE is just going to go straight through that. Now, if you want to shoot this thing, you shoot literally next to the gun. It's like 100 millimeters or something rubbish like that. No protection whatsoever. And generally, especially with kinetic shells, you can get through that very, very easily. Now, if you are using HitFS, I would recommend going for the turret ring or, just shooting a dud shot somewhere, discharging the round into the hill or whatever, and loading something a bit more solid. That's why I don't take full HitFS loadouts, ever. Because you'll come across a tank with ERA, and you will not be able to kill it in one shot. I simply don't understand people who take full HitFS and nothing else. And it really frustrates me, honestly, because there's so much more potential in tanks with an L7 gun and with HitFS in general, and taking just HitFS is a bit of a travesty because you're not making full use of that tank. Not only that, but you'll tend to get shafted when you come across stuff with ERA. Now, speaking of something that can destroy my ERA, that's an SU6. And I apologize for the lag, but my hard drive has autism. Please be patient. Now, this SU6 is going to start diving on me and he's going to start making attack runs. So what I do is I brake and I go to reverse so I can throw off his aim. It's not always a foolproof decision, but it does work sometimes. Now you can see he's made a run and he's damaged my track. And that's not good. That's not good from a CAS perspective. I mean, from a tanker's perspective, looking at CAS. Now you can see me here, I need to shoot him down, because if he manages to do more damage or destroy my ERA bricks, then I'm in for a bit of a rough run. And I manage to pull some beautiful nothingness. Yes, that's right, I fucking miss. But don't worry, because he's not going away just yet, and that gives me an extra opportunity to shoot at him. You can see there, I'm just trying to track him. And there's nothing else to shoot at. I'm looking at the horizon. I'm just making sure quickly, before I tunnel vision on this guy, that I don't get distracted by him. And I've done that so many times. I've gone to shoot at a plane, and I may have gotten the plane, but if you kill the plane but you die to a tank on the ground, there's no point really. And there we go. That was such a beautiful shot, man. Such a gorgeous shot. And that's just, I don't know what's with the Magach especially, but when I'm on the move, I can just pull off shots like that, and it's, it must be Jewish trickery. It must be them damn Jews. And yes, you might think, oh well, he doesn't like those Jews, does he? No, I do, because my Israeli friend gave me a due pass, so I have permission. Oh, man. Oh, I hate making those jokes, but I love it at the same time. Anyway, ladies and gents, the Ariete. That's a really good match. A really good match to show off the potential of the Ariete. And, well, not the Ariete, the Magach. Well, they're basically the same thing. Just one has a stabilizer and trades it out for ERA. I love them. I love them both. I really want the Ariete, but I don't know. I don't want to reach into my pocket for that. Anyway, ladies and gents, that is the Magach. To correct myself, I would definitely recommend getting it. It's a good tank. But we'll see what happens when patch day comes around with the APDS buff. Anyway, ladies and gents, take care, and I'll catch you next time.